G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and it's time to get rid of a couple of shelves. Now, I might be getting rid of this one, but I'm definitely getting rid of this one. Now, you probably haven't seen this one. I originally had a black one that I've actually got behind me in place there when I was doing the videos on the little lights, so as you can see over there. But if you really pay close attention to that, you can see that I have Boeing shelves everywhere. So this is the main reason I went and bought that new shelf. I have been doing some housework and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a break from your housework and do some of the shelf. So I was going to get my nephew to come give me a hand, but unfortunately he had a bit of a bike accident. Well, accident says that it was his fault, but more along the lines of a car decided to put his indicator on and change his mind the last moment, and he had basically throw his brakes on and ended up ass over head, which is something similar that happened to me when I was growing up, but not to that extent. So I've taken photos of all the figures here, so I know roughly where I want to put them. It will be a bit bigger than this white one, a bit longer and a little bit taller. So I'll get started and I'll give you little updates when I can. So that's one shelf done. I'm just giving it a good wipe over just in case I end up using the shelf again. One of the issues with this really is, I don't know if you can see it, there is a bit of a bow here. This is where Superion and Bruticus usually stand. Now, a suggestion to those of you who end up using bookshelves as display cases, if it comes with a backboard, put them on. It gives you added strength. I'm actually looking at that, and it actually looks like it's tilting to the right. It could be just my perspective, but it does look like it's actually tilting. So we'll see what happens there. So that is shelf 2 all unpacked. It's taken me about probably 3/4 of an hour to get it all undone. This was my first shelf when I first started collecting properly. As all of them, they're all pretty much bookcases. And it is a little, as I said, it is wavy in all the different places. The bottom there has a bit of a breakage in it. Probably put a couple of brackets on that to hold that in place. But a mate of mine that I'm going to call Lego Man, which I think I've referenced before at some point when I was doing the Legos, has asked if he could have my shelves, especially this one. And honestly, I think that they might work a bit better for his Legos. They're not so heavy and whatnot. So I might actually end up getting them. I was going to put it out the front of my place and just say free for a good home, but I might actually get on to him and say, well, if you can get it out of here and take it home, go right ahead. By the way, for those of you who are actually Googling on YouTube, Lego Man, not him. I've suggested that he built his Legos on YouTube, but due to his speech impediment, he's not comfortable for it. So this one's gone, so I guess it's time to start building. The floor's all cleaned. I've given a quick mop and a quick sweep so I don't have to worry about it later. And now time to start putting the shelf together. I also got onto Lego Man and said if he could figure out a way to get the white shelf to his place, it's all his. So I got the bottom shelf, or the floor shelf done. And as with a lot of things like these, you have to take the instructions with a grain of salt. It told me to put the side pillars up first. I suggest if you ever get this, do the bottom fillers on the bottom here first, then attach these pieces. Unfortunately, I can't go too much further back because I literally have some other shelves right behind me. But as you can see, Raiden fits snug there. So I honestly think if I had more room in this place, I could easily turn this into a combiner shelf. It looks like it could easily fit 4 or 5 combiners just on one row, another 4 or 5 on the bottom, depending on which ones you've got. Obviously, if you've got like Combiner Wars, it'll easily fit. I am going to put the other shelves on because this is also supposed to house my smaller figures. So I'll keep going. God, I'm exhausted. Okay, so that's the shelf all built. Now, I do have a tip for those of you who are trying to get the shelving pieces into place. A little technique that is very helpful. So when it comes to these corners, they've got to go into these grooves. Now, if you did what I originally did, I just banged the corners, but it didn't go in far enough. So a little suggestion is you take part of the box, at least probably big enough to fold over. you take your hammer, and all you do is put it over in your corner, and you hit it. Now, I don't have to do it because it's already in place. Actually, I could probably do it a little lower, but like so. There you go, that went a little bit deeper. I'm pretty sure I do this up. But anyway, so the idea is that if you now look here, there's no big old hammer mark. If I use my hammer straight on it, I'm going to have a big old circle where the head made contact. By using at least a double thickness of the cardboard, all the kinetic impact is going straight into the cardboard, and then it's using the wood of the shelf to actually slam down on the metal brackets. So that way you're not actually damaging the board unless you go stupid crazy and you really smack in. Also, if you do like the instruction says and put the middle shelves in last, this is actually the middle. So this is where I had to put some pins in, but there's one up here. If you do this one, the top one and the bottom one, and then try to put the next shelf on, you'll have difficulty getting in. Just bring in the shelf through the side. So now to finish it up and redecorate it. So I've put myself a little bit in the corner close to my couch so you can see a little bit of a better picture. There's Ultra Magnus in the top left corner. There's Fans Toys. I was going to say Road King. I don't think that's actually it. I think that's Transformations. But either way, that's Fans Toys. Motor Master up in the other corner. As you can see, she's pretty wide. So the white one gave me enough room for 2 steps and a little room. This is giving me enough for 4 steps and no real room if you don't include the front. I'm also considering perhaps getting rid of this shelf, because I tried to fit Bruticus up here and even altering Vortex's joints. He was too tall. So I do have the other shelf there. Just temporarily, I've knocked one of my lights off just to see how it would fit. But yeah, I think I might do either some experiments later. I'm calling it quits for now. I'm going to go have some dinner. I'm a little exhausted, have something cold to drink. Either my experiment with it tonight or I might just leave it for tomorrow. So, little update. So, as you can see, I have filled up pretty much the top shelf. That is a lot of Autobots. There are third party up there. There are main line up there. There are main masterpiece up there. As you can see, Unicron sitting up the top. So is Autobot X. Except for KFC Wrecker. A couple of the mainline figures that I've now turned into vehicles because I have third piece or masterpiece representations of them, and the G1 reissues. Pretty much all the Autobots are on the shelf, also excluding Superion and Raiden. So this is going to be the last little part for tonight. I might work it a little bit more on tomorrow. So maybe I'll have it all up display. We'll see what happens. So I think I'm about 99.5% sure that I'm pretty much done. The 0.5% being maybe I'll rearrange my retro figures or something. I don't know. You may notice there's now a few more gaps on the Autobot shelf. I decided to put the mainline figures, excluding Windblade over there, who'll go back into my recording room. And Optimus Prime when this is done. I put the main lines back onto the shelf behind me on the Kmart throw together shelf, simply because I came to the realization that I literally filled up that top shelf, and eventually I will replace the main line figures with either third party or masterpiece when they come out. So all I'm doing is taking up room, and so I thought I'd just put them back where they were. I did make some alterations with the Decepticon shelf. You can see my Seekers on there now. They were to my left on another cabinet, which was one of the black ones that was sitting here when I was putting all the lights and that on it. I haven't moved Galvatron and the Quintessons over. I haven't moved the Decepticon triple changes or the Headmasters. And Grimlock and Swoop still out on there too. But as you can see, I've actually been able to relatively better group the 2 sets of Stunticons I've got. Obviously, I'm missing Dead End for the Fans Toys. And I've basically, as I said, made room for the Seekers on there, Megatron's on there, Soundwave's little minions, except for Laserbeaks, all at the front. And those few little collectibles like the Energon cubes that came with kickback and shrapnel. Obviously, Unicron's back where he was, along with the Revenge and Cosmos. One of these days, I will do that Revenge. I do remember it was fiddly, so I'm not looking forward to that. I do have the Jade, I think it's called, Optimus Prime up there, which was on my combiner shelf, and my Dragon, and my Lady of Crows. And if you can see him in the back there, I've also got Bayek. I did get the gold edition of Assassin's Creed Origins, although I do admit I prefer Bayek bald with a beard. So that's just my opinion. Of course, Cosmos and Generation Cosmos is up there. So I don't know what I'm doing with that bottom shelf yet. That's still humming and hawing. I did mention I was thinking of dropping that second shelf out to put the combiners in, but I'm actually going to modify this cabinet, which you can see Crash and MP11 and what's left of Transformission's Motor Masters trailer. I'm actually there was two more shelves, so one was up here and one was down here, and I had like Bruticus, Abominus, and Superion, and then down here I had Predaking, Raiden, and Devastator, and I had a couple of things up here, and I had some things up here. I'm actually going to get rid of that middle shelf. It is doweled in, and what I'm going to do is here, if you can see the little dot here, and this little dot here, I'm going to put the other two shelves back in place. I'm going to take this one out. It is a holder, so it is supposed to hold it in place. So I'm going to end up having to take this off, get this out, put that back in place, put those two other shelves on, and then I'm going to screw the shelves in place where those metal dots are. That way it's actually holding it, and I'm actually going to get the back boards out of the shed, which are a little bit warped at the moment, and I'm going to nail them in place. So that way it's stronger, because right now it's like this, even with that middle portion. And that should give me enough room for 6 legitimate third-party Titan class combiners. So as I tried putting Raiden in the middle and Bruticus and Superion, and they don't quite fit, so they can only really hold 2. The only reason that normally I can hold 3 on the shelves is because Abominus is like this big compared to them. It's the Power of the Primes one, to which he'll go back onto this shelf, possibly in beast form. I don't know when I get a proper third-party combiner. And of course, down here I had Raiden in the middle, Devastator on one side, and Predacon on the other side. Predaking, but they're slightly skinnier and smaller than the big third-party combiners. So yeah, there you go. So it's taken me a day and a bit to put all this together. Optimus and Windblade will go back into my recording room, and now it's just a matter of buying more figures, which I will admit I do have 3 coming next week, but they won't be getting done. I'll do shorts for their reveal, but that I will go back to doing well, if you've seen the little snippet, I will go back to doing the Predacon videos as of next week, if you don't count this being Sunday. So there we go. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.